Yes, 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 people. We're talking Justice League. Anything you want to talk about concerning this movie, but this weekend is still rumbling. Christmas is in the air tomorrow. This is a movie of hope, so don't forget to share it with your friends. Let them go see this movie again. We're having an epic weekend so far, and it's wonderful. It's wonderful to be out here and to be talking with you guys at this point in time. So we're talking Justice League. Of course, I haven't been on YouTube that much. I've actually been on other media sites as of present, really watching some fantastic things happen there. But I'm coming up on YouTube just to talk to you guys for a brief moment in time. We're not going to take an hour. We're going to take hopefully 10 minutes. The time is now 11:55, so 12:05. I will be stopping talking about Justice League. I will entertain your questions. You got to move fast, guys. I appear, I just pop out of nowhere and I'm doing a video just like that. I just pop out of nowhere and do videos. So sorry about that, guys, but that's how we do it. Justice League, Justice League, Justice League. Well, we've got some behind the scenes footage of Justice League, of course, but now a guy on YouTube, he put out the book, the concept art for Justice League. And I can always put that link down in the comment section below. But for now, what I want to show you guys, hold on a second here. See if I can probably pull it up for you guys. And once again, the concept art, like I said before, it only proves that this movie is a Zack Snyder film. This book, the Justice League concept art, or the art of the film, was done long before Joss Whedon came on the project. In fact, the first time we heard about it was somewhere in March when Zack Snyder had either just stepped down or just before he stepped down. We knew about this book. It's the same book that's coming out that you can check out and access it. It's really cool. But at the end of the day, all of this evidence that I've given you guys, this is a Zack Snyder film, is just something to let you guys know that there's a lot of baloney that's been pushed out there, a lot of falsehoods. And if you know anything about me, is I try to come from a factual basis. I try to come from truth. Now, I've not been able to verify the box office figures for Justice League, so I'm not even going to try and talk about box office right now. The box office figures that I talked to you guys about, I don't know if I ever talked about it on here, but in different forums that I was in last weekend, they said it was about 662. Now, I don't know if those figures are verifiable. I've been trying to contact the guy to see how verifiable those figures are. The argument that the guy was making at the time was that India and some other Asian countries, as well as some other countries, weren't factored in Box Office Mojo. If you go to Box Office Mojo right now and you look at the foreign box office, you don't see India and certain Asian countries in there, and you list them. Now, however, if you go to the numbers, again, this is to tell you how contrary these box office things are. You go to the numbers and you check out their foreign box office. You see India in there. Not all the Asian countries that were listed, but nonetheless. I don't know what to make of that. What I would tell you guys is this, that I like to go from factual basis. So when people say, oh, this film was a success, no, it wasn't a success. Don't even go there. It's not a success so far. It's not a box office flop, but I don't make it a success. All right. And if it stays where it's at, it'll be a failure. Yeah, that's the truth. If it's in the 600 millions, if it's in the 700 millions, it needs to get higher than that. Like I said before, you guys have to keep pushing, those of you who are pushing. Okay. I'm a realist. I'm not one of those guys that's a baloney guy. I tell you guys how it really is. I'm hopeful, but I'm a realist. I always tell you guys that. So I don't play around when I'm talking box office. I don't know where the box office really is at. That's the problem. So I can't really tell you really factually. If I go with Box Office Mojo, I don't know if those figures are correct because they don't have all the countries. But then when you look at the numbers, they have the countries, but yet their box office looks similar. I'm saying there's some goop-de-gar going on there. Something's wrong somewhere. So they had to sort themselves out. But as to, okay, I have almost 5 minutes left. As to talking about box office, I can't really put my finger on what exactly the numbers are. All right, it's all good though. We'll find out in time. Now, with respect to what I told people, I was fighting for this movie. What I meant by that was that I was proactively working with this movie. Now, a lot of people don't know how to proactively do anything, so it is what it is. But when you're proactive and you're hopeful, that makes a difference. Now, let's talk a little bit about very briefly about some things people have been talking about in this movie. Now, I already circulated certain things in social media already, but with respect to certain fallacies, you know, people say that Barry Allen at the end of the movie, he was running real funny, you know, and they saying, man, he run like a girl. And I even used to agree with that. I was like, man, he's running like a girl. What the heck is that? But actually, if you pay attention to how Barry Allen was running throughout the movie, you would realize that he was running pretty much with form throughout the movie until we reached after he had interacted with Superman. After he interacted with Superman on 2 occasions. The first one was when they were fighting Superman, and he realized Superman could match him for speed. Not match him, but, you know, he could kind of stay with him. And then the second time when Superman caught up with him, he'd taken off. He was the guy that was ahead, and Superman caught up with him while he was running. And then they both raced each other. Of course, Barry beat him to the finish line in that respect, but Superman did much more, right? And it's interesting that after that, Superman actually inspired Barry Allen to want to run faster. And so when we see him, as Lois Lane is talking about possibilities and pushing our potentials to higher levels, you realize there in this movie that it was because Superman, the hope helps us to push ourselves to more possibilities, which is hope as well. But because Barry Allen was inspired by Superman made Barry Allen say, man, I got to get faster. Right? And Superman actually raised him. I think that's what inspired him at the end. And that's why you saw him pushing so hard. And I showed people, if you watch at any race where sprinters are sprinting, all right, or runners are running, marathoners, whatever, and the runner starts to really put effort into their run, like they may be behind or somebody's about to pass them, they break form and they really start to push themselves. They drive as hard as they can. Their head starts to wag, their whole body starts to wag. They lose their form because they've been putting all that effort in there. And that's what you saw with Barry Allen. He was trying to run faster. And he's not really a sprinter or anything, but he's trying to run faster. And because he's trying to run faster, he loses form, which is why he looked like he was wagging as he was running. And it makes sense. But you don't see Barry Allen do that before that point in time. Before that time at the end of the movie where Lois Lane is narrating. You watch Barry running any time in the movie. And he's keeping his form for the most part. Well, a form. I mean, he's not a sprinter, but he's keeping a form. He's not wagging all over the place and twisting his whole body and his head doing all of this and all that kind of stuff. And the other thing is, when you see Barry, therefore, at the end in the post-credits racing Superman, it follows up that he wants to see how fast he really is. He's testing his limits, something that Kal-El, his father, told him, Jor-El told him, keep testing your limits. Now we see that Barry Allen has adopted that, and he's taken on the mantle of Superman's hope, and he's testing his own limits. Another thing that I don't know how many people actually caught this in the movie, it was talked about, but nobody really caught it, was Barry Allen and Superman ended up wearing the same kind of shirt in this movie when they're civilians. Well, obviously, Barry Allen was a big fan of Superman, and we see him when he smiles when Superman comes back. But even more, we see that Barry Allen, he's literally wearing the shirt that Superman wears, that Clark Kent wears. Subliminally, maybe, I don't know. But he has the same taste and stuff. And what's interesting is seeing him facing Superman. And when Superman says you're off the team, if you lose, you see his face actually drop. Because Barry's all about friendship. Barry's all about being a part of something. And that's actually an actual saying that Barry Allen says in Justice League War at the end. He talks about, I'm glad to be a part of something. So with just a minute left, I just want to tell you guys that, you know, with this scene, which I'm surprised so many people misinterpreted it. I can't understand how they're so caught up in Barry's running that they say, oh, they think he's running that way the entire movie, first of all. And then second of all, what's so very funny to me is that they missed the whole point of Barry being inspired and trying to run faster because of Superman. And that's why he's racing him in the post-credit scene. Obviously, that was a Joss Whedon reshoot. You can see it clearly on Superman's face. Even there, you see spots of mustache. They didn't do a clean job of that. Which leads me to another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about, just very briefly. I don't think I have the time. I've just run out of time. Let me just check my viewers to see what anybody's saying. May have haters there, may have lovers there. I don't know what we had to expect. Let me just take a look very quickly. My 10 minutes is up. Okay, so this is what we're looking at, and okay, that's basically it. Well, guys, I gotta run. I gotta jive. You guys have a great one. You can always check out the video that's posted up. My time is up. 10 minutes is up. I hope you guys have a great day. We'll be checking you guys out in time. All right. Have a good one. Peace. Shout out to Leroy King. Shout out to a brother who gave me the link for, I will drop it in the comment section, for the art of the film. What's his name? Let me shout you out. His name is Indigo Journey. Indigo Journey. I like you, man. I like how you think. You know, you think sensibly and, again, logically. So I just want to shout you out. Shout out to Dave Ethan. Shout out to Joanne. I forgot your surname, bro. And a number of other people. And it's just good to know that there are people out there that actually reason and think, and they don't just echo other people's thoughts. They try and fact check things. Always, when you can fact check things, it makes a big difference. Anyway, I gotta go. You guys have a great one. Oh, don't forget. Okay, I'll talk to you guys about that another time. You guys have a great one.